Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you very much for joining this class, second class of the week, Wednesday. So, as I said previously, we'll be having class only on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from now on. So, it's not going to be a daily class, but 3 classes a week. So, on Monday, we started a new book, the second book in the Bhagavatam Tales. So, book number 2, this one. And the first stories that we begin are concerning King VENA and his father, King ANGA. ANGA was a pious king, but somehow or other, he got a very bad son, King VENA, who is very wicked, very evil. Even as a child, he used to kill his playmates during playtime. So we read that first story on Monday. If you would like to watch this class, you can go in the live tab section, or you can go in the description below. There's a link to all the classes. If you appreciate these classes, you can consider subscribing to our Patreon channel and give a monthly donation to help us carry on these weekly classes, thrice a week. Yeah. Okay. So we begin with the Mangala Charana prayer. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjala Salake Chakshurulmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Ladati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunantam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha Ye Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deva Gauravani Pacharin Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pascha Dishatharin Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavan Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So thank you for joining. You have to excuse me, I'm a little bit sick. Maybe you can hear. Sudam, can you ask Mama to bring me a hot cup of water? Thank you. So I'm a bit sick, so therefore my voice is not so good. So Hare Krishna to all of you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for those of you who are watching live and those who will be watching in the future. So we will directly start. Today's class will be a bit shorter because I have some things to do right after class, and also because I'm not feeling well. So we start with the first story. Actually, I think there'll be only one story today. Here we go. Okay, so like last week, last class on Monday, Hare Krishna Narayan.
Hare Krishna.
It's been a while we didn't get you on board.
Yes.
So last Monday this Monday we had ANGA and VENA. So we started this series of classes. And the first story was a boon of misfortune. So it explained how King ANGA, who was a very pious king, he married Sunita, who was the daughter of Mrityu, death personified. So you can imagine that death personified's qualities are not the best. So therefore, his daughter Sunita inherited these qualities, and her son uh, Vena inherited her qualities. So therefore, uh, King Vena had the qualities of death. And he was also killing his classmates during playtime and so on. So King Anga very much regretted this. He tried to, actually, in the beginning, he had no son. Then he did a yagya to get a son. But after that, he regretted it because the boy grew up to be very cruel. All the citizens were frightened by his mere presence. So then he became disgusted with his son's character. Uh, and he was thinking at first, oh, being sonless is better than having such a cruel son. He was thinking I should have no sons. And after a while, yeah, thank you. And after that, he thought, well, in fact, having a bad son is also good because it brings a spirit of renunciation. So in any case, he left his kingdom, and now the situation is that the kingdom has no king because Anga simply left. So this is what we are going to see now. The cruel comes to power. The news of King Anga's sudden departure spread throughout the kingdom. The citizens, priests, and ministers became greatly aggrieved. They searched for Anga everywhere, but no one could find him. Disappointed, they all returned to the city and informed the assembled sages. So you see, the king left, renounced. So now what's happening? The country has no protector, no king. So the citizens started searching, and after they couldn't find the king, they took shelter of the brahmanas, Sorry. So the sages, headed by Brigumuni, were always concerned about the welfare of people in general. However, they could see that without a king, people would be unregulated and stoop to the level of animals. What does stoop mean? Huh? I would guess it means degrading. Come to. I cannot search. Anyway. Thus, they decided to make Anga's son Vena the king. Although the ministers disagreed, the sages took permission from Queen Sunita and coronated Vena as the king. So you see how important it is to have a head of state, a king that rules the kingdom. Even though Vena was wicked, the sages, they thought at least there will be a king. So they thought if there's any problem in the future, then we'll deal with that. But there should be a king. Vena's cruelty was well known all over the kingdom. When the thieves heard that Vena became the king, they became afraid and hid. Naturally, Vena was ruthless, and he became even more arrogant on ascending the throne. So you see, um, even though one is a leader and he's atheist or what, at least he can curb down the smaller thieves. This we have experience in the country that I live in. You know where I live, right? So the country I live in has an atheistic government. Hmm? The rulers, but they are very strong in
Papa,
ruling the
just
people.
now you're frozen.
Okay, so I was saying that the leaders where I live are atheists. They don't believe in God, and they don't let their citizens practice religion. Hmm? But at least they know how to curb down the smaller thieves. So where I live in China, the criminality is very low. Although there's 1.3 billion plus people, there's not many crimes. Why? Because the leaders are very strong. Whereas if you see in America, which has not even a billion people, but the leaders are weak in imposing strict punishments to rogues, there's so much criminality. Mm? People dying every day from gunshots, so much thievery is going on. So that's why it's good to have a strong leader. Of course, King Vena was a demon, practically speaking, but at least since he was in power, the little demons were curbed down. So I'm experiencing that here where I live. China is actually, materially speaking, it's a safe country. There's hardly any criminality around. So we continue reading. Sorry. He considered himself the greatest and started insulting exalted personalities. Being blind and intoxicated with power and position, he traveled everywhere, causing the earth and sky to tremble. He prohibited the Brahmanas from performing sacrifices and forbade all spiritual activities in the kingdom. So that's it. Same thing as here. They do not allow people to perform, religious sacrifice or spiritual activity. So same thing King Vena was doing. You stop worshiping God. I am God. Being proud of one's power and position causes one's downfall. Well, he was always fallen. Seeing Vena's atrocities, the sages became concerned about the citizens' welfare. Being compassionate at heart, they discussed. So the sages actually they don't care about politics, but they care about the people's welfare, and they know that they need sometimes to advise kings, take in political power. Fearing a political crisis in the absence of a king, we crown Vena as the king. Naturally, he is cruel, and by becoming the king, he turned out to be the enemy of the citizens. The people are in danger from both sides due to an irresponsible king and the thieves. It is like a log with fire blazing at both ends. We should try to counsel Vena. If he does not accept our advice, we shall burn that sinner to ashes with our powers. Supporting this wicked king is like maintaining a poisonous snake with milk. So this is very instructive. The sages are thinking like that. So we thought there would be political crisis in the absence of a king, and they were right. So because of that, they crowned Vena. But now, because he's so cruel, he's the enemy of his citizens because he's telling everybody to stop performing religious activity. So any government who stops religion in his country is actually a demonic government, and he is against his citizens, even if he provides material necessities. Because material necessities is temporary, it deals with the body only. If one removes religious principles, one will abuse these material facilities and indulge in sinful activity, which will lead him to hell. So religion is necessary. That is a distinction between humans and animals. Animals cannot be religious, but humans can. So the people were in a big, very bad position. And here, the sages are saying, we'll try to bring him back to his senses, and if he doesn't, we'll burn him down with our powers. So brahmanas used to be extremely powerful. Although brahmanas are not physically strong, they used to be very powerful because of their Brahma Teja. They have this acquired piety imbued in them that they can use to curse people. They can curse offenders. So although they have no weapons or anything, simply by they can get rid of someone. Okay, one moment. Okay, so absorption in spiritual life doesn't make one indifferent to others' suffering, but makes one compassionate. Having thus decided, the sages approached Vena. Concealing their anger, they tried to pacify him with sweet words. They said, Dear king, please hear us attentively, for our good advice will surely benefit you. By acting according to Dharma, you will be freed from all miseries and attain liberation. By obstructing the worship of Lord Vishnu and the Devatas, you will spoil the spiritual lives of your citizens and will surely fall from your position. A pious king is supposed to protect the citizens from enemies and facilitate the worship of Lord Vishnu. When the Lord and the Devatas are satisfied, you will attain all success and prosperity. So you see that they are instructing the king very well. Now, what will he think? Okay, a king's responsibility is not just to protect the citizens physically, but also to ensure that spiritual culture is followed in the kingdom. Yes, Narayan.
What's politics mean?
Politics is the business of the government, the kings. It means managing the kingdom, uh, ruling the citizens, protecting the citizens, making trade with other countries. All these are part of politics. It's the realm of the Kshatriya. The Kshatriya engage in politics, not the Brahmanas, not the Vaishyas, not the Shudras. The Kshatriyas are supposed to be the one that deal with management of the country. Managing the country is called politics, okay? But in former ages, only qualified Kshatriyas were meant to rule the countries and try to gain power. Now, politics is taken care of by Shudras. The Shudras are trying to act as Kshatriya, and therefore the whole world is in a mess. So, although the sages spoke appropriate words with good intentions, Vena replied very arrogantly, I am the king and the real god and master of the citizens. Since you all are unchaste, you desire to worship Vishnu and the Devatas instead of me, you can't be happy in this life or the next. The king is the reservoir of all the Devatas. Vishnu, Brahma, Shiva, and all the Devatas reside in the king's body. So you better worship me with all your offerings and sacrifices. Only I can enjoy all the sacrificial offerings. You see how a demon thinks? He thinks he's God. He thinks all the devatas, all the demigods reside in him, and he's the supreme, he's meant for enjoyment. Basically, a complete nutcase, completely mad. An arrogant person not only disrespects God, but also considers himself God. Such fools will sooner or later reap the results of their attitudes and activities. In this way, Vena foolishly spoke some false philosophy considering himself God, and disregarded Lord Vishnu. Being so sinful, he deviated from the right path. He thought himself very learned and insulted the merciful sages who had made him king. False pride makes one disrespectful to great personalities. Hearing Vena's disrespectful words and considering his sinful mentality, the sages became enraged and shouted, Kill him! Kill him! He is the most heinous and impudent person who disregards Lord Vishnu. If he lives, he will turn the whole world to ashes. Therefore, he does not deserve to sit on the throne. Then the sages killed shameless Vena simply by their angry words, without any weapons. So sometimes ignorant people of modern age say that the system of kings is an autocracy, which means that one person has all power and nobody else can say anything. It's not true. The perfect Vedic system, there was a council of Brahmanas that the king had to obey to. And if the king used to deviate from Vedic principles, then the Brahmanas could dethrone him, just like we're seeing him in this picture, you see? All the sages are shouting at him, kill him, right? So now he's starting to be afraid because he knows that something might happen. And we can see the painting here. I've got here King Vena. See here how he's being cursed. You see how the Brahmanas here are holding their sacred thread and uttering the curse. When a Brahmana curses, he wraps his thumb around his thread like this, his Brahmin thread. And then he points, and he curses the offender. We can see how Vena is feeling the weight of the curse falling on him.
Baba,
Yes.
the white Brahmana thread is the holding the next Brahmana.
No. This is his thread here. You see? This is his.
But he's not holding. He's not holding the curse.
No, he holded it. Look, this is the thread, and he broke it. You see, the thread broke. When a Brahmana curses, he breaks the thread while uttering his curse.
Yeah, but the other one, there's two Brahmanas.
Yes, Sudam. Okay, maybe they're not holding now, but this one is holding. Okay, so here he cursed him and he broke his thread, and you can see that King Vena is feeling the result. Okay, so So while humility attracts the grace of great souls, pride attracts their curses. After the sages left, Vena's mother, Sunita, being aggrieved, preserved Vena's dead body with special ingredients and mantras. But what happened to the kingless state? After so much chaos, there isn't any answer to the search for a suitable king. Will thieves rule the general public? Will the sages help in some way? Or will they neglect the situation? Read on to find out. So, this is for the next story. I'll ask a few questions. Okay. So, do you remember why King Vena's father, why did he leave the kingdom? Who can answer that? That was in the Monday story, but I mentioned it at the beginning of this class. Yes, Sudam?
Because his son was bad.
Yes, so his son was very bad. So he became disgusted and decided to simply leave. He got a mood of renunciation. Okay. Now, why did the sages enthroned King Vena even though they knew he was such a bad man? Yes, Vishruchidam.
Because there's no king to rule.
Yeah, but why? If he's such a bad king, why do they want him to rule?
He's trying to please him.
No. Okay, Mitra, you had raised your hand. You want to try to answer?
They needed a king.
Sorry, Mitra?
They needed a king.
Okay, I did not hear. It's so noisy where you are. Can you say it again? Can you try to say it again, Mitra? Okay, or maybe you can type. Yeah. They needed a king. Okay. Yeah, but why? If the king has to be good, right? But if the king is so bad, so why? So the answer is that at least he would be curbing the thieves and rogues. And this is what happened. So the smaller thieves and smaller rogues, they all hid. But he himself was a big thief and rogue, actually. Okay. So before cursing King Vena, what did the sage try to do? Who knows? Okay, yeah, Sudam.
Try to please him.
Okay, they try to pacify him, right? To give him good counsel, actually. They try to instruct him. All right. Okay, we will read the few little notes at the end of the story. Okay. A lesson on concern. Think of how much your mother is concerned about your well-being. In this story, the Brahmanas, although uninterested in political matters, out of great concern for people in general, advised Vena on how a king should rule. Sometimes, when leaders become corrupt and trouble their subjects, the sages responsibly step in to rectify the situation. It is they who impart wisdom and educate people in morality and spirituality. Although kind-hearted, they may chastise the wrongdoers to protect the innocent. Exactly what a loving mother would do out of concern. We can also show genuine concern for our family, friends, and society to the best of our capacity without being indifferent towards them. But real concern means to make them Krishna conscious. That is the real thing. The anti-pride formula. We attain knowledge, wealth, success, and positions not by our efforts alone, but by the blessings and support of many people, including our parents, elders, teachers, friends, and ultimately God. When we are grateful and respectful to them, we won't become falsely proud of our accomplishments and positions. Try recollecting who all helped you in life and how. It's an exciting, okay, it's an exciting exercise, isn't it? So, actually, by the grace of Krishna, we won't become proud. Uh, Even the karmi, even if you offer respects to his family and so on, he cannot be prideless, because a true prideless person is a devotee. So anyway, okay, so today we'll stop here. So we'll chant already. Go get your beads, everyone. I'm gonna have one round together. I give you. Okay. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Unmute yourself. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Hare Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram, Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram, Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna, Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu. Advaita Gadadhar Sri. Okay, thank you all very much for joining. Sorry, I was a bit sick. I'm a bit sick today, so I have to make a call. Now I have to call someone, so I could not give such a long class. So Friday, same time. Okay, Friday 4 p.m. Vanchakalpatarubhischa kripa sindhubhya Etalam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namo. Anantakuti Vaishnavandi ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Gopal ki jai. Hari Hari Bol. Bye bye. See you on Friday. Hare Krishna.